Hello everyone, this is Nagarajan. I hope you had gone to the part 1 and part 2 session and got some clarity. Let's get into the part 3 session today. I'm not going into the deeper levels, but I would like to highlight the first and foremost practices which are really mandatory to remember while you're working with an automation framework. The first one, when you encounter an element not interactable exception, firstly, just try to understand the reason for the exception, why it is occurring. The reason is web element is present on the DOM, but it is not in a state that can be interacted with. You can use JavaScript executor to fix this exception. This line does the magic to resolve the exception. Another exception is the stale element reference exception. The reason why it is cropping is the web element is no longer attached to the DOM. You can fix this by using reiterate method or else by refreshing the page. Let's move on. Many people are not still aware of Selenium 4 features. The Selenium team had come up with the very good features like relative locators, process tab management, multiple window handling support, updated action class, enhanced Selenium grid. So try implementing these features as and when the need comes. Next one is the SLF4j library. SLF4j library stands for Simple Logging Facade for Java. This library helps to capture the test logs. Every page actions need to be logged. User actions on a page, clicking a button, clicking a link, selecting a value on a drop down, every other actions. I would suggest this library over Log4j framework. Many people would have heard about Log4j vulnerability. There have been many talks around this 11 months ago, but I'm not going to talk about this right now. Let's look at the fix for the vulnerability. It's just a simple fix. We need to have the latest version of Log4j dependency, but I would insist to get the updated version of API dependency as well. In your project, if there are older versions, please make sure to update with the latest versions. For now, these versions are available in the Maven repository. Next one is the test report. This helps to showcase our automation test results in a well-defined manner. So please don't be lethargic to create the test report. I would see some people hesitate to work on test reports, but that is not at all a good approach. You can generate the test report either using Alio report or extend report or report NC or JUnity report. To get the report ready, also ensure to share them with the client for every release. You can also present the test report during the demo. That would definitely create a very good impression. In automation framework, we must need to capture the test snapshot whenever there is a test failure. Why? Because at a later point in time, test snapshots help us to find the actual root cause of the failure. Based on my experience, I'm saying this would act as a helping hand when we are in a critical situation. Another one, capturing the videos of the test execution. At times, we can easily log the defects by attaching the video to the bug areas. By this way, we can help the developers to figure out the place where exactly the issue occurs. But in Selenium, we don't have an inbuilt class or method for generating the videos, so we should need to rely on other libraries. We have this library available, MonScreen Recorder. It is a Java library. Using this, we can easily record the Selenium test. Nowadays, many framework has its own of recording the test execution. Note, we have Cypress Automation Framework. They had come up with video recording feature. It generates a video automatically during the end of the automation execution. I'm having a plan to post more videos on Cypress as well. I'll be doing it for sure whenever I get time. Next one is handling the exception using try catch block. Don't always tend to use throw or throws keyword. Placing multiple catch blocks is also a very good practice so that each exception is being handled in a respective catch block. Also, we can use finally block wherever applicable. Look at here in pom.xml file, try creating the properties something like this. Here, so that you can refer the value dynamically. If there are so many dependencies, it will be easy for us to update the latest version at the properties level itself. Outcoding the value is not a good practice. Using testng.version, something like this, right? You can refer the value dynamically. These are small things, but when it comes to automation framework, these things will be very, very helpful for the automation engineers to make any changes very easily in a short span of time. Never prefer any problematic scenarios or use cases or test cases. First of all, we need to avoid the unstable or unimportant things. Our primary focus must be on critical scenarios. I mean business use cases like order checkout flow, task calculations, payment process. So don't waste your time on automating the dynamic page content. Why I'm saying this is, if the page content is dynamically changing every now and then, that would make our test to fail very often. It's better we can ignore those pages and links which are not that important. When we say automation, functional and UI testing always hit our mind, but it should not be like that every time. We'll have to identify the scope of testing in different areas. I mean, scope for database testing, API testing like that. DB testing is to check the data integrity. API testing is to focus mainly on the business logic layer and no need to worry about the readiness of the UI. As part of automation, if something enters into the database through web page submission, it could be any database, Oracle, SQL Server or MySQL. It's our responsibility to clear the data when it is being inserted through us. We don't need to depend upon the developers for clearing up the data. We can write a Selenium script to connect to the database and then we can delete all the test data. I already posted a video for this, you can refer them. I believe you would have known about these frameworks: test-driven, keyword-driven, data-driven. As a best practice, always prefer to use hybrid framework. It's basically a combination of keyword-driven and data-driven. You can also look for BDD framework using Cucumber. At times, client may come up with a need for BDD framework. To know more about BDD, you can refer my previously posted videos on Cucumber. As I stated earlier, Selenium 4 had come up with Enhanced Selenium Grid. You can try implementing this and don't always rely on TestNG parallel tests for cross-browser testing. I'll be sharing the videos on Selenium Grid as well. Nowadays, you can hear this word everywhere, within the organization or outside the organization. CI/CD, CI/CD, CI/CD. It is nothing but continuous integration and continuous delivery, or you can call it as continuous deployment. That makes our job very easy. Don't worry, we'll be learning this in our upcoming videos as well. Jenkins plays a vital role here. For now, just remember, we must need to implement the continuous integration in automation workspace. Another important one, Docker. I believe you would have heard about Docker container, Docker hub, Docker image. If not, that's fine. As an automation engineer, we are on the verge of knowing these concepts in automation to scale our execution in a better way. Let's move on. Amazing combination, Docker with Selenium Grid executes our test scripts in a grid of containers across different browsers. Firstly, we must need to learn Docker and then with the collaboration of two chains. I mean Docker with Selenium Grid. You can have the cross-browser testing or cross-device testing on a cloud test environment using BrowserStack. By this way, test execution will happen in an organized manner without any flaky issues. For this also, I had already posted a video, you can refer them. On the notification side, using Jenkins, we can trigger the email notification to the team. We don't need to write a separate code logic to trigger the notification. You can also trigger a Slack notification to the team about our automation job summary so that the test status will be completely visible to the entire team. With this, we have come to the end of the session. Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe to my channel and provide your support. Happy learning. Thanks again. Take care. Bye-bye.